We unpack. We unpack. We unpack. Coming to you live, Boxing Ego unpack. Yeah. We unpack. We unpack. We unpack. Coming to you live.
Jaron Boots Ennis finally responds to Terrence Crawford beating Errol Spence Jr. Find out what he had to say in this video. What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Great event last night. Errol Spence, he tasted defeat for the first time as a pro, losing to Terrence Crawford. Crawford put on a masterful class performance. He shut me up, many people who picked against him, and he showed up ready to work, and he got it done. Now that we have a conclusion there, I don't know what the next move is. Some people want possibly a Spence Crawford at a higher weight class. For me, based on what I've seen, like it looked like a stylistic matchup was the biggest problem, unless there was something that I don't know about, because Errol looked just extremely flat to me, and it looked like a version of Errol Spence I had never seen. So I don't know that 54 would be different. It looked like a stylistic, almost mismatch in terms of how the styles and what they did well. So I don't know, would Errol look different? Because here's the thing, even if he looked different at 54, he now has to wear the badge of Crawford soundly beat him, stopped him, 3 knockdowns, and, you know, bludgeoned and kind of punished him in that particular fight. So he's at a major disadvantage from the psychological perspective entering a fight, be it at 47 or 54, right? And it looked like Crawford's speed bothered him immensely. Crawford being the guy that came from the lower divisions, I don't think moving up would make Errol Spence faster, and that looked like a big dynamic. So moving on, that could happen. Jaron Ennis has his say. There's a post from a boxing reporter, and it says Jaron Boots Ennis is now Terrence Crawford's IBF mandatory challenger, which Boots seen this and he retweeted. So now that Crawford's undisputed, Jaron Ennis was in line for a shot at Errol Spence because he was the IBF champion, beat Kell Brook. So basically, realistically, I got me chocolate right hand brownie, right? He beat him for the IBF, and Boots is kind of going the IBF route. Now that Crawford has all of the belts, again, 2X undisputed, he's the man. So this is another future fight that could brew. Now, I want to say my piece regarding this. If you know how I get down on my channel, I keep it a stack. Whether my prediction was right or wrong, I'm still a man at the end of the day. And that's why I waited to make this video. People kept asking me, oh, what about Crawford, Jaron Ennis? What about Crawford Ennis? But I like to give the fighters their moment. And it was Terrence Crawford's moment last night. He had a class performance, looked superb, got off first, created all the knockdowns, was never hurt, looked very sharp. So it shows that he's the pound for pound number one in my book. Over Inoue and Usyk and stuff, he's just doing stuff at a different level. The man fought 2 champions, even though I don't think Jeff Horn was a quality champion. The judges gave it to him in the Pacquiao fight, so therefore he was a champion. And he knocked him out and knocked everybody else he fought out at welterweight, including Errol Spence, which is by far the most impressive. Jaron Boots Ennis, different proposition. He's big, possibly bigger than Errol, but he's also younger, and he's been like staying in the gym, hasn't been in a car accident, and he's able to make the weight. He says, I can't wait. And he also says, give me the winner, please. I need them straps ASAP. So he's responding to it. He says, hashtag undisputed soon. So despite Crawford looking sensational, in my opinion, Jaron Ennis believes that he can beat Terrence Crawford. Now, Crawford clearly has the experience advantage, and I know based on the Errol Spence performance, he'll open up as the favorite most likely based on the experience and the fact that he's the champion with all the belts, and we've overall seen more. Some people are going to look to fights like the Jaron Ennis fight with the Karen dude and say like, oh, he's not ready for Crawford. Some people believe that Boots is ready right now. And despite the Karen performance not being Jaron Ennis's best, he bounced back in a major way versus Villa. But the difference here is Villa is more of a straightforward, rugged guy. Crawford is giving some angles. They both can switch hit. So it's just a completely different fight. Would I love to see the fight? I mean, absolutely. I mean, but Crawford kind of holds the cards here. It's up to him, whatever he decides he wants to do next. It's also up to Errol Spence because Errol Spence has options on a rematch clause. My personal opinion, I don't know that I need to see a rematch. It's kind of like Fulton versus Inoue. The first fight provided so many answers to the point where you have to, this was slick. Ooh. This was slick from Ennis. The first fight provided kind of the answers we need versus Fulton and Nui. So if they rematched it and ran it back, let's say there was a rematch clause in that fight, I mean, would it be any different? I don't really know that. I can't say that in all honesty based on what I've seen. And I'm old school in the sense of anytime there's a fight, I usually only want to see rematches, and I've been consistent with this on my channel. I usually only want to see rematches when they're absolutely necessary, like Ward Kovalev. There were people who had fair, cause to say that it was a close fight. Some people thought Ward won. Some people even thought Kovalev won. So fights like that, I don't mind when they do an immediate rematch. If there's Mayweather Castillo and Joshua losing to Ruiz and feeling he could do much better, and then he did do better and get his belt back. So fights like that, I'm okay with the rematch because that kind of makes sense. Wilder versus Fury, though, that trilogy made sense to me. But what doesn't make sense for me so much is the fights where it's one-way traffic. If it's one-way traffic, I feel like you have to kind of almost, even though that's why rematch clauses, we got to really look at them in the sport of boxing. Because, yeah, you can contractually have a rematch clause. But again, if you on that given night don't necessarily acquit yourself to the point where it shows that there's not a separation or there's pure separation from one guy throughout the whole fight, I mean, does the world of boxing demand a rematch? It's kind of like Ryan Garcia versus Gervonta Davis. Ryan, to me, in that given fight, didn't do enough to substantiate a rematch with Tank. Even if there was a rematch clause on his side and he wanted to pull the trigger because he thinks he can do better. Plus, it's dangerous for the fighter if you're coming off a knockout loss like Ryan Garcia or even Errol Spence, where it was like kind of an embarrassing loss. You got dropped, bloodied, things like that. I like to actually see the fighters go back to the drawing board, regroup, rebuild, and come back rejuvenated. And if anything, then maybe you do a rematch after you climb back up the ladder a little bit and show that, you got your bearings back. I think that's the ultimate. So I don't know. We'll have to see how some things play out. You see Jaron Ennis is huge. He's definitely strong. He's a switch hitter like Crawford. He's confident. He's calling for the fight. I don't know what Crawford's standpoint is, if he's going to stay at the division, if he's going to move to 154, if Errol's going to definitely hit the rematch. So some things have to be put out there first, but this would definitely be a great fight. I think in an ideal situation, I would like to see Jaron Ennis fight against Keith Thurman, and then the winner of that fight Crawford, because Crawford, he's already solidified himself as a GOAT and a Hall of Famer, and he's a 2X undisputed. No one can take that away from him. No other man has done that in the world of boxing today. And I think Jaron Ennis, I would like to see that one more like big meaningful fight, like a Stanionis or a Keith Thurman or a Ugas, see how he does there. And if he gets past them, then fight Crawford. But I'm not in charge of making the fights. I'm just a YouTuber with an opinion. Definitely like Boots' style. I like Crawford's style. We'll see how it all plays out. Drop your thoughts in the comment section. Best in the business, and I'm out. Introducing Super Thanks. Right here on the official Boxing Ego YouTube. Super Thanks allows you, the viewers, to show a little bit of extra gratitude, which enables me as a full-time content creator to push out the content you need in the world of boxing. Underneath all the videos, you will see a heart with the $sign in it. You can enter any amount that you find suitable as a super thanks. A brand new interactive and colorful way to get your comments highlighted and noticed by not only myself, but other people on the YouTube platform. Super thanks, a unique and cool way to show and applaud us full-time content creators. Hopefully you guys enjoy the content. Super thanks. The future is now. The Hibernation 5s by Kenichi Bear. Hybrid gaming and lifestyle headphones. Out of the box, you can connect to any console or PC. Bluetooth ready with a low latency USB adapter, color RGB, and extreme bass mode. The Hibernation 5s adjust to you. Whether you need a gaming, travel, gym, or lifestyle headphones, the Hibernations got you covered. The new Hibernation 5s, link in the description. Customize the way you hear the world. Welcome to the nation. Are you tired of your YouTube videos not getting any views? Well, consider TubeBuddy. I've used TubeBuddy for years to scale up my YouTube channel. Now we're sitting over 200,000 subscribers. TubeBuddy is a browser extension that offers a ton of built-in productivity and time-saving services to take your channel to the next level. Use my link in the description to get started with TubeBuddy and level up your channel faster. We work it.